Going on, guys? It's Dylan here. Today we'll be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol GME. GameStop. We were following GameStop in this very tight double padded support, gain 29.25. Stock price closed below, had a decent size down movement until getting a very nasty gap down with news and all that, guys. Since then, we are seeing some pretty key data points that will give us indication where stock price will lead. Moving into the next few days, guys, on the weekly analysis, GameStop is prone to these massive movements to the upside and the down, right? Massive movements to the upside and the down. So once again, fast forward over to current price action, we're seeing once again another violent movement to the downside, right? When we zoom out, guys, the number one thing we want to take away from this weekly analysis is that stock price is in a range. And this is what we've been focusing on over the last few weeks with our GameStop weekly analysis, right? Highs being over here and the lows being somewhere over here. We do this ascending support with multiple touch points, which stock price currently is sitting upon. And we do this rough general gauge, guys, this blue box of support. A little bit harder to see. Let's zoom in so you guys get a little bit of a better perspective on that. Being this blue box, guys, it's been a very heavy influence as well with this ascending support. So with that being said, guys, within the last few updates, we mentioned that, we have to lean slightly bearish on the weekly, just being that we're over here at the top of the range with a negative bearish action to the move downside. So you would expect there's more movement to the downside, to the floor, right, than the ceiling. Prior, when we did get over the top, we've seen a big squeeze, right, a big movement in price action of around 40%. And then previously we got over that, you've seen a massive movement of around 90, 100%. So currently seeing stock price set right at the bottom of this range, guys. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that, stock price does confirm to the downside, maybe bounces and knifes down. Well, it doesn't look good, guys. The stock price has been sitting in this very tight range over the course of the last, really 8 months, guys. If we flip over to the monthly analysis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My math is very wrong, guys. Closer to over a year. So seeing stock price in this very obvious situation, guys, you want to see the floor being held, and that's the number one thing we're seeing on the weekly, having this very sharp movement to the downside with a lot of strength. This is when we want to take a step back and see what happens, see what the buyers have, because in the past we've had pretty violent movements to this floor. When we kind of accumulate for a little bit, get the bounce, right? We had this accumulation in the floor previously and the bounce. So the question is, do we have the accumulation from the buyers stepping up, being confident that they're willing to get this bounce, sellers exiting the position, and eventually seeing this curl up within price action? As of now, there's not enough indication on the weekly analysis to claim either side. So let's go jump over to the daily analysis. On the daily time frame, guys, you do see that once we did confirm below that double padded support we mentioned over the last few weeks, Venus ascending support coincided with this very important previous consolidation of the breakout level and the prior level, where in the past we had a stuff at this region and we jammed all the way down to the exact same level, right? And over here we had multiple consolidations and being the center point for this consolidation in the past, guys. So seeing the break of that, it was a very quick movement to a very violent reaction, right? A lot of news, derivatives, and incentives, right? This is not just strictly price action. So with that being said, now that the dust is settled, stock price is sitting in this very important spot where we have this ascending support and this blue support and this overall just blue box of support, guys. Centering back to the weekly, this blue box is that rough region where this is the floor for the stock range on the weekly, guys. With that being said, it does not take a genius to say that, when stock price is down a massive measurement like it is now, 27% within 3 days of price action, dropping right back on the most important weekly support, on the most important daily support, and the hourly. So we're very much in a very important spot, and over the next few days, this definitely will show where stock price will go. Within these big gap down regions, guys, this is when experience comes into play. A very simple and extremely accurate technical analysis technique for this, guys, is mark the bottom of this gap down, right? We have this very big candle jumping down. The bottom wick is the spot where if you collapse below, that's likely to have a lot more downside to continue. Okay, so if we confirm below this 2150 hard, strong, with some serious seller pressure, should be able to move to 27.9, ultimately testing the bottom of this, the bottom of this weekly range, guys. So keep that in mind. We're right on this very important level. If we zoom in the past where we had these previous gap down situations, that will give us a good indication. Right over here, guys, stock price gap down, very, very similar to what we did over here, right? We formed this low being over here. We highlight that gold. You see that stock price jambled above it for a couple days, coming below it momentarily, not able to close beneath on the daily, comes very, very close before ultimately flipping green. And you see massive upside after that, guys. So this is such a simple technical analysis technique, but it really is a staple to watch these gap down scenarios. If we scroll in the past to previous gap down scenarios, we see a perfect example of that over here, guys. Stock price gap down, about 20% in price action in one day. We set the low, being the initial gap down daily candle low, right? If we highlight that gold, stock price gradually descended within this descending channel. Very, very clean, reaching the bottom, getting that getting that, re-approach of that support and bounce. After that, guys, it started a new run. So it really is as simple as that. We can continue to scroll and scroll, right? It's not always exact. Stock price could, come a couple cents below it. But if we see a hard rejection underneath this wick on the daily time frame below 2150 strong with some serious seller pressure, well, that is the new entry for short sellers to establish a new position. And if there is any buyers here, that would be likely the area where they do sell. As seasoned traders do know this is a very, very simple technical analysis technique. And this works on many different stocks, including GameStop. We had a similar, exact same situation with Tesla, guys, right? Tesla gap down big time, guys, big time. We went on the channel say if we take out this low, expect more downside to occur. But if not, you could see a relief bounce where buyers attempt to set back in for a bounce. What do we see? We see stock price rally right back into the support zone. So that doesn't mean that we're going to shoot all the way back up to $26, guys, but that will be the next price target if stock price can start to curl back up and get some upward moving momentum. The next resistance, previously turned support, right now resistance will be $26, guys. So number one thing on the daily analysis, which we will be following moving into the next few weeks, will be the bottom of this wick being the gap zone. On the hourly analysis, guys, you do see how stock price did base, right? We gapped down right below 29.25. We came up, we tried to reclaim it for 1, 2, 3 hours, failing, consolidating right on this level before close, and then obviously a gap down. Something within these contexts to keep in mind, guys, from a short-term perspective, red to green will be your best friend. No doubt we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles flip green for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Momentum is your best friend within these context situations, guys. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles. Likely to maybe do a couple other, or even if we just open green, forming it tomorrow, potentially this is the higher low where stock price can continue to ascend. So if you watch GME on a very, very micro analysis, keep an eye on all these red candles flipping green for a momentary short-term reversal. As of now, we have seen some decent buying pressure in this floor, as the previous seller pressure wasn't quite as much as this buying pressure, but that's not quite an indication, guys, to say we're clear in the water as of now. Looking at all the data that GME is currently giving us, collapsing from this very, very big double padded support, gapping down all the way to the floor, right? It doesn't take a genius to say, guys, that, if you're a buyer, you want to see a hammer candle being printed and defending these lows. If we see that buyer stepping in and starting to defend these levels, you could see a red to green reversal, being that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles in a row, knifing down a measurement size over the last 4 days, guys. So keep this in mind. If we do break the floor of 2150 hard, there could be some more short-term downside to come until buyers eventually step in whenever they may do. This does happen, guys. We'll cover that as it transpires. But as of now, that's all we're getting, guys. So keep an eye on these major market points. If you found any value out of the video, consider like, subscribing. We will go over GME a couple times a week. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a good day. Take care, trade smart, guys, and peace.